If you love your kids, this might be the most important money video you want to watch. A hidden care tax on their time, their careers, their marriage, and their own retirement dreams. How it silently drains your kids' future, and how to design a care plan that protects your dignity and their dream. Multi-generational living is rising. Nearly 1 out of 5 Americans now lives in a multi-generational household. So caregiving isn't just a family chore anymore. And remember, federal projection shows that around 70% of adults who reaches 65 will develop significant long-term care needs today as well as in the coming years. How much does your oldest daughter cost? Not in love, in lost income. Who is on my care team? What do I expect from family and what I do not expect? Why is everything documented? Power of attorneys, healthcare proxies, HIPAA releases. The question is not, will my family be involved? The question is, will they be drowning or supported by a plan? If you love your kids, this might be the most important money video you want to watch. In the United States, family caregivers provide an estimated $600 billion worth of unpaid cares every year. That's more than what this country spends out of pocket on healthcare costs. We rarely call it as tax, but for many daughters and sons, that's exactly what it feels like, a hidden care tax on their time, their careers, their marriage, and their own retirement dreams. Today, I want to show you what caregiving really looks like in a longevity world, how it silently drains your kids' future, and how to design a care plan that protects your dignity and their dreams. Let me start with a very human moment. A client recently told me this, and maybe this will resonate with you. My mom looked at me and said, "I don't want you changing my diapers. That's not the future I want for you." That sentence, my dear friends, goes straight to the heart of long-term care needs and planning. It's not about charts and products. It's about relationship. As Dr. Joe Coughlin at MIT Age Lab likes to say, before there was social media, there was the family. The most trusted advisor in any family are usually not the professionals. It's moms, dads, and very often the oldest daughter. But here's the reality behind that sweet sentiment. The typical family caregivers is providing about 18 to 20 hours of care per week, often while working on their own job. They are managing appointments, meds, rides, groceries, emotional supports, and sometimes hands-on care like bathing, dressing, cooking, eating, toileting, all of that. And too often, nobody ever sat down with them years earlier and said, let's design this in a way that doesn't cost you your life. Now, most people imagine caregiving starts when mom or dad is in a wheelchair or a memory care unit. That's the extreme. In reality, caregiving is more like a career that creeps up over time. It starts with checking in calls like, "Hey, I just want to hear your voice, honey." Then, "Can you come to this appointment?" "Well, can you help me fix the TV?" "Can you pick up my meds? The traffic stresses me out." Over a longer life, here's what else is happening. Multi-generational living is rising. Nearly 1 out of 5 Americans now lives in a multi-generational household, often driven by caregiving and financial needs. Women still do the majority of the caregiving and health decision making. They are also on track to control the largest share of wealth this country have ever seen. A growing share of older adults are solo agers, not married, not nearby children, which means care has to be brought, not borrowed. So caregiving isn't just a family chore anymore. It's an entire economic system, and your plan determines whether your family pays mostly in time, mostly in money, or in a painful mix of both. I want you to think of caregiving as a hidden tax on your family's future. Time tax. 18 to 20 hours a week is basically a part-time job on top of a full-time job. That's a time not spent on promotions, building a business, or in fact resting. Money tax. AARP estimates that caregivers spend thousands of dollars a year out of pocket, often around $7,000 or more, depending on the situation. They cut back on their retirement contributions, dip into their own savings, and sometimes go into debt. Emotional tax. Burnt out, stress, marital strains, siblings fighting about who is doing enough. Now, can you connect with that? And remember, federal projection shows that around 70% of adults who reaches 65 will develop significant long-term care needs today as well as in the coming years. About half of men and 2/3 of women will need substantial care. Nearly half will need some paid care as well. So I often ask a very direct questions to many of my clients. How much does your oldest daughter cost? Not in love, in lost income, in lost energy, lost years of her life. If we just assume she will handle it for you. So what do we do with this reality? We tell a different story ahead of time. Let me help you see that. Here's a simple 4-part care story I walk families through. Number 1, who is on my care team? My spouse, my adult children, nieces, nephews, or a trusted friend? Professionals, for example, care manager, home health care agency, financial planner, as well as elder law attorney. Number 2, what do I expect from family and what I do not expect? I want you emotionally involved, but I do not expect you to do heavy hands-on care. For example, your job is to manage the plan, not to be the plan. Number 3, how will you pay for the help if I need it? Maybe dedicated savings or a care bucket, or have a long-term care insurance or hybrid policies that can do both, using home equity thoughtfully, not reactively. And number 4, where is everything documented? Power of attorneys, healthcare proxies, HIPAA releases, your policy documents, key contacts, and your care preferences. When you do this, you are replacing the hidden care tax with care design fee. Some money now in premiums or savings you invest so that it can care for you. Some time now in conversation with your families, with your kids, to buy back years of freedom of your kids later. Do all this planning now. If you're already caregiving, I see you. You are doing heroic work in a system that mostly pretends you are invisible. If you are not caregiving yet, odds are high that you will either give care or need care at some point. There's no neutral world. This is based on the CVS news. The question is not, will my family be involved? The question is, will they be drowning or supported by a plan? Here's your next step. Share this video with the person who would most likely be your caregiver. Have this 20 minutes conversation with this person this week where you can ask, if something happened to me, what could you realistically do? And what would be too much for you? If you want help turning that into numbers and strategies, I provided a link in the description below where we can start building a care plan that protects both you and them. That's what long-term care and asset protections are really about, protecting relationship in a longevity world. If you like this video, please make sure you follow the channel, like and subscribe for more productive videos and useful videos for your financial and longevity planning.